We are now recording the April 13th, 2018 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Happy.
Yeah. Friday the 13th, the last Friday before tax deadline.
Yes. Yeah.
So I see Dennis working hard.
I keep getting people asking, is my return done yet, or can you tell me when I'm going, man, I've got 53 returns scheduled. So I just say, well, I put you on extension, so I figure they'd rather have me do it correctly and take the time rather than just slam something through and,
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely. Well, we have Ada with us today. She hasn't been here for a while, so it's good to see you.
Good to be back. I always enjoy our Friday chats when I have a chance to join in.
Awesome. We love having you.
Yay, it's good to be here.
Tell us what's new.
Wow, what's new? Well, everything is going well. Enjoying 2018. I can't believe the first quarter is already over and it's almost tax time. But today I thought we could chat about the new Google Calendar. I know the last time I was in, we were chatting about Google and Google Forms in particular, and I was just curious if any of you have tried the new Google Calendar, if you've had any challenges with it, if you're enjoying it, and if you're taking advantage of some of the new features, in particular the time zone features and other new features that are in there.
Probably not.
I've been using it the same as I always have, and does the new time zone features mean they've improved?
They have. So you can set new time zones for the start and the end of different events.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
Yeah. So that part is kind of cool. And then, some of my other favorite features, which were, in the previous versions of Google Calendar, but obviously the repeating, if you wanted to add a video conference through Hangouts, you can do that right away as well. I think another big feature is you can now fully format the text. Actually, maybe I should, would it help if I shared my screen?
Sure, as long as it's not stuff you don't want to not share.
With the world? Yeah, let's see. I have there it is. All right, so you should be seeing a Google Calendar screen, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the new Google Calendar updated with the Google Material Design, they call it, layout. And most of it will look exactly the same in terms of how you want to format your calendar, if you want to look at one day or a week. I tend to look at the week view. It just seems to be the happiest for me. But to go back to what we were saying before, we can add time zones, and we can use separate time zones for the start and end times of events, which is kind of cool, especially if you're flying from point A to point B. That's kind of cool. And the other part that I really like using is adding detailed descriptions that you can format. So you can add bullet points and unordered lists, add links, add attachments as well. And when you invite other people, they'll be able to access that information. So I think that's a really cool little upgrade to Google Calendar.
How did you do the time? How did you do the time zone one?
So if you're in an event,
I didn't even see how you got to add an event. I'm on mine.
Okay, let's back up a little bit.
Out where that is.
So I click this little plus button in the bottom right-hand corner to create an event. But you also can get there by just dragging and pulling an event, and it will, come with the date and the time pre-populated.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but if you add,
and I see. Then you've got the different tabs, like.
That's right.
Okay.
And I have mine integrated with Zoom, so I can always turn mine into a Zoom meeting.
How do you do that?
I'm aware of Google Hangouts for sure, but not Zoom. I do love Zoom as well. Yeah,
I think that's an extension. Mm-hmm. And I know extensions are going away and turning into apps.
Yes. And there's Gmail updates coming our way. So the look and the feel of Gmail will be getting updated. So we'll see what that brings us. just like calendar got a facelift, it's coming, and forms before it, Gmail's going to get a facelift too, so that should be interesting.
Nice, nice. Now I will use my location. I can use it for either a Zoom address if I'm doing virtual,
Yes.
or if I put a street address in there, I go to my phone and find it on Waze, and it tells me, do you want to go to XXX, which is really kind of cool.
That is very cool. It becomes a hyperlink when you add a location in here. Let me think of an interesting location that I could add. I don't know.
Oh, so when you go to maps on your mobile, it'll pop up?
It'll become a link that you can click.
Right,
So,
right. Well, I have Waze. I've installed Waze, which is a driving app, and it automatically comes up and connects.
Yes. And then you can get, I always love to put the exact location in my Google Calendar events for when especially if I need to get in the car, because it makes it that much faster. Open up the calendar event and off you go. So I'll stop sharing.
The Waze app out here, it takes you off the freeways a lot and through residential neighborhoods, and it's done some. It'll take some cars off into residential neighborhoods that really are not equipped to drive in those roads. It's taken longer limousines onto streets that get stuck on. They can't make a turn. It's too tight of a turn, kind of thing.
Wow.
So, I found with Waze that it waited too long to tell me when to make the turn. I must drive faster than Waze is used to, and I would be past the turn before it would tell me to make the turn. So I stopped using Waze, and I now use Google Maps. They seem to do it.
That's what I use.
Google Maps. Well, Google owns both of them.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And Waze was more, to my way of thinking, it was like more of a, I don't know, a social place where your other Wazers were, and they would tell you if there's, police up ahead, a hazard on the road, construction happening. So that was the reason I like Waze.
And they have pictures, little like emoticon pictures of the car.
Yeah. And you can be a ninja if you want. You have a little icon for yourself as well.
That's right. That's right.
That's so fun.
Well, the app that I have just discovered for Gmail is Sorted, S-O-R-T with a D on it. And I'm loving the way it looks. When I do, when I do my schedule and my calendar, I look at a task as it needs to be done on Thursday. I don't care whether I do it 9 o'clock in the morning, lunchtime, 5 o'clock. It's just sometime during the day I need that task done. And then I have Trello that I use as like a deep dive for that task. So if I have a bookkeeping client, I want to do it next Tuesday, I have a checklist for what I'm going to be doing. Downloading transactions, reconciliations, and I do it very detailed. If they have 5 bank accounts, I've got 5 reconciliations there to check off the list. Well, I've been using the tasks, I've been using Wunderlist, which is going away.
It's free now.
I know, but it's so simple. I love the way that it works. But Sorted looks like it's going to take the place of that.
Is there like a free version?
And send an email to myself, and then that would go into the Sorted as a task. And let me see if I can share my screen and show you. It closed it. So Sorted has like a Trello-like appearance. Here's the inbox. And this is doing it like lead prospecting, but I would do to do, doing, and done.
For sure.
And I think that those two in combination, using that as like an overview and then using my Trello as the deep dive is what's going to work for me. That's been my problem, you know, because I have different ways of thinking. But I don't want to try this until the new Google upgrade happens. Because this is the sorted site, and then we also have it on the Play Store or in the Marketplace.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not
how much is it?
One I would even want to install.
How much is it? Is it free or is it a freemium one where you get
I know
extra?
there's a free trial. I don't know what it is monthly.
Okay.
Well, I'll just pop onto the website and let's see. So it's $6 per month per user.
That is so usable.
And then
That's
there
not bad.
is the basic plan that is forever free, and it has some limitations. But yeah,
The
so there is a
freemium-
forever free plan.
Yeah, freemium.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it looks like that's what's going to work with the way that I think and the way that. So if I have a task on Tuesday and someone calls me and says, it's a really nice day out, come play with me.
Got it.
Guess what I'm doing?
You're
Going
gonna
to
go
play.
Because it may snow tomorrow.
There you go.
We just got spring. Today was the first nice day.
Good.
But did you hear on Stacy's podcast that she said she had snow the day before and then today was like 73 or some crazy
That's
thing?
crazy. That is get sick weather.
Hmm.
That is get sick weather.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, moving on. Linda, you wanted to talk about a QBO client going back to desktop?
Yeah.
One.
I think part of it had to do with there were a lot of people at the house where their office is, 3 teenagers and a grandmother and a mother. And the grandmother is the one that had used desktop a few years ago. Of course, regular QuickBooks Desktop doesn't run on a Mac unless you run the
They're all Mac users.
And
Mac household.
so that was the big reason that I put them on QBO, was because of the Mac situation. But it turns out that neither the mother nor the grandmother are particularly computer literate with their Mac. So, and because mostly the people using that computer are the 3 teenagers, the settings on things are for those 3 teenagers. So that when the mother and the grandmother go on, they have to kind of move things around and change the settings to get the QBO to work. And it's just not coming very easily. So they came to me and asked me, and I said, no, we can take it off. We have it in there since October 1st, and we can put it on a desktop. I can do that. I'll have QuickBooks take it off for me.
So you're going to buy a cheap laptop for them that'll be exclusively their QuickBooks.
That's what they're going to do, is buy
No
a
teenagers,
laptop.
no grandma, just ma doing the work.
Ma and grandma, they'll both do it.
Okay.
They will both do it because both of them have, or at least the grandmother the grandmother's not that old. She's like 61.
God bless her.
Yeah.
That's not old.
That's not very old. So anyway, so that'll work fine. And when I showed her, she came down to my house and I showed her. They particularly liked that when I had the view, I had the open window view open. They could see every single window that was open and just click on it. They really dislike QBO. And I didn't teach them how to right click and make all these different windows for, like on Chrome, for the different things, because I'm not that good at doing that myself. So I think it'll be better. I've just given them a quote for doing the second business, to put the second business on, but it'll be easier because it'll be on QuickBooks Desktop. But
what kind of business?
Is going to be a very similar setup. The first one was a restaurant. The second one will be a WIC store. So they sell WIC, women and children, which is kind of EBT stuff, specialty EBT stuff. And then they also, and this always kind of.
What's EBT?
They sell lottery tickets.
What's EBT?
EBT is like food stamps.
Oh, okay.
They don't call food stamps anymore. They call it EBT, electronic
Oh, okay.
transaction. I don't know. But for women and children, there are special products like formula and milk and things like that that children need in order to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So they're very specialty stores. There's like a small convenience store that just carries certain things that I think most of it, the government contracts with manufacturers to make for women and children.
Okay.
Got it.
I've never actually been in the store, but I think the setup, and then she's got another store like that. But right now we're going to set up one, and I think then what we could probably do is just duplicate it for the next store.
So do they have a POS system?
They do.
And you'll be entering the POS system by journal entry?
Same thing of getting a daily summary for the POS. And I will make memorize a sales receipt where you will, and in desktop, this will actually work better than it does in QBO because you really can have that. Now, the one that we're going to have to, well, they have sales tax and the other thing too. And we just pull the sales tax out from the POS. So, well, actually, I figured out how to enter all that as part of the sales receipt. But we enter the number that came from the POS. We do not let QuickBooks calculate.
Got it.
In QBO, anyway, we do not use the sales tax system. I have set up another sales tax, and it's like sales tax liability, use this one.
Got it. Got it. So it's
not
not actually a sales tax item.
It is, but it's interesting. So I bypassed their system because we want to use what the POS determines. That's all programmed in the POS. So.
Right.
So anyway, it's working out well. They like it. They think it's cleaner and easier to function in. What's really nice is it's a little bit easier to see when you're in. All the downloaded transactions are just the downloaded transactions. And then when you go to the register, you're in the register. You can still do both the QBO, but it's not as, they look very similar. And you have to look more carefully to know which one you're in. Am I in the downloaded transactions right now, or am I in the registry right now? And between them, it's a little bit more difficult in QBO than it is in. It seems to me a lot of those things are more hidden because I think they want more automatic and rather than you controlling it.
So QBD gives you more control over that kind of thing. You also have the ability to change colors on your registers. So if you have two registers like that, you want to make them different colors.
And if you have 2 or 3 different data files, you can make the data file color different too.
Yep. That keeps you from mis-entering into the wrong. Absolutely.
So anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing. So I won't end up somehow. I still have my gold membership. I need to get advanced certified because I want to get my diamond membership back. Hi, Larry.
Hey, Larry. The dragon has arrived.
Yeah, the dragon.
Doesn't have his picture up today.
I'm pretty well complete here.
So the last thing we're going to talk about then will be the reports that you had mentioned.
I gotta go find them. Let me see if I can find them.
I had a question for Ray.
Reports that you're asking clients to give you.
Yeah.
For you to consult with them and see how clean their database is.
I had a question for Ada. On Google Maps, is there a way that you can simulate driving somewhere so that you can see what it looks like as opposed to, in like real time, or if on your computer where you can start from point A to point B and you can actually kind of simulate like you're driving there?
I'm not sure if you can simulate the entire path, but you definitely can take street view in certain places.
Right.
I'm gonna have to look that up and get back to you.
But I'm going to say, Dennis, I have a friend that actually does that. They do that on Google Earth, and they use the flight simulator, and instead of flying like a plane, they just taxi, and it shows all around. So they have traveled all around the United States in Google Earth, and they actually see what's happening. The guy is a train. He loves trains, and he's also done this by train. So he's taken an actual train trip in real life, and then goes back and looks at it when he's on Google Earth.
Well, I was just thinking it'd be really helpful if you're going someplace you've never been, just to kind of
See what's around. Well,
see
I guess
what's around.
Street View is for.
Yeah, but I guess you want to see it as a movie almost.
Almost.
Certain spots in Street View it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking like it'd be nice to, just kind of like almost like a movie.
Yeah. Well, and I took a quick Google search, and there are some non-Google like third-party developers and stuff that have created things. I don't know if any of them are valid or the quality of them, but yeah, I can pop some of the links in the chats and see, you can check them out. They kind of look a little bit old, but maybe one will suit your needs.
Or try Google Earth.
Or try Google Earth. Yeah, I'll pop the link for that in there in the chat as well.
How long has it been since, did anyone here used to use Google Earth?
I did. I did.
One of my computers.
Do you still use it, or have you given it up with Google Maps?
I've given it up. I haven't used it in a long time.
I like it because I can go exploring places like in my childhood. And it's interesting because a lot of places where I went, we had, there were hills and that, and we'd go down to ponds, and we'd go like exploring and that. And you can do a lot of that with Google Earth. So
you can add a lot of overlays to Google Earth.
Yeah.
Farmers around here used to use it just to find, like, believe it or not, the soil content.
Interesting.
It was that detailed. Yeah, agricultural people. Yep.
Cool. Oh man, the new Google, I'm just on Google Earth right now. The website, it's awesome. No, it's very cool. It's been years. It's been a long time since
I guess on that you can go like in a time machine back to where it looked at a certain point. I think I saw that on Steve Dotto's, one of his webinars, where if you want to see what it looked like 5 years ago, it's like going a Wayback Machine.
On Google Earth, are you talking, or Google Maps?
It was Google. I'm not sure if it was Maps or Earth, but it was one of those where you could see how the area built up.
Wow, wow. That sounds more like an Earth thing than a map thing, but I could be wrong. I don't know where to.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Gina.
But I feel like Google has the best maps of anywhere on the Earth now at this point, whether it's Google Earth or Google Maps.
Mm-hmm.
So Linda, are you ready for us?
Almost. I've got it. It was on the other computer. I'm just going to open it on this computer here right now. I put it in share file. So I'll be right there in a minute. I didn't know whether any of you wanted to share anything about yesterday's QBO show or not. I didn't want to.
I would rather do that offline.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it offline.
There's so much controversial about it.
Not a problem. Hold on. Now I've got to download this. Let me see. Let's download it. Okay. I'm going to download it. And there we go. Can I download it to the desktop? Let's try that. Yes, it looks like I can.
Larry, are you with us?
All right.
Your mic not working.
Okay, now.
So you're not muted, and if you're not talking, your mic's not working.
Got it. So here we go. All right, I'm going to open this up, and then I will share. This is a proposal
You don't have any names listed on it, do
So
you?
I'm going to now go to Zoom and share my desktop. Hold on here. We go-
Linda, you don't have any names on it, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
My name,
Okay.
my name's on it. I guess, there we go. Okay. Share screen. You have to pick what you're sharing. Okay, so here it is, my QuickBooks Desktop and Online Consulting, Custom Accounting System Solutions, and my 2 numbers in my website. And then I say, please send me the following reports. Now, these reports are in desktop, and it gives really very detailed, at the top center of each report where it says print, click, save as PDF, because obviously that'd be a lot easier. These reports will help me create a proposal to clean up your QuickBooks data file and train you to enter data quickly, easily, and accurately every month. The other thing is, when I get these reports, I can figure out about how much time it'll take to clean it up, how far back the problems are, or whether it's probably not worth cleaning up and better to start off at the beginning of the last fiscal year or the next fiscal year. So on the company P&L, and I want them, when they get that P&L, to type A for all dates and then change under columns from total to year. Now, this is very interesting, because if somebody does this and they've entered a wrong date somewhere in there, like I just went somewhere and did it, and they had entered a date of 1918. Now, obviously that was a mistake. But I've gone into places where there'd be a date of 2021. Obviously, that's also a mistake. So the neat thing about this report is it kind of shows you some way off the wall mistakes that may have been made that usually you can guess where they really should be.
Right,
But
right.
The company balance sheet, I do the same thing. When they get that, I do A for all dates and then change the columns. But actually, they have to go from the beginning to the end, and then they change the columns to year. And again, you'll see what's going on the balance sheet accounts from year to year to year.
You know what it also does? On both those reports, it tells you which years don't have any data.
Yes, it does. You're absolutely correct. It usually will start with the first one and then end with the last one. Okay, now the open invoices, that's important, because I'll see if there are a lot of invoices that aren't applied to payments aren't applied. I've got loose stuff floating around that aren't applied properly. Then the unpaid bills detail. I like that too, because again, if we've got bills and bill payments and things like that, it shows up. And then
So if you see a bill or an invoice that hasn't been paid from 3 years ago, their list need cleaned up.
That's right. And then here's the lists. And I get the account list. That shows me a lot. And I just have them usually get rid of the balance total, the description, and the tax line. I usually don't care about that. Customer phone list, that shows me, and the vendor phone list, it shows me a lot if they have the same customer listed 2 or 3 times with very close names.
Yep.
And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll have actually invoices and payments under different customer names that really is the same customer. So sometimes that can be merged. And the same way with the vendor.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Hear you, Larry.
So we hear you, Larry. Very good. So anyway, I said these 7 reports should give me a comprehensive view of your data file. I'll send you a proposal within 48 hours of receipt of these reports. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. So
Do you ask for like an agent analysis for the AR and the AP?
I don't. Usually I can tell that to some extent from the open invoices because the dates are on there. This just is like, the problem is I could ask for so many and I could get overwhelmed preparing a proposal. This gives me enough that
You can see how healthy the books are and what areas you need to be focused on.
I can just tell them I'm not interested and then find somebody else.
You know what report I would ask for?
Thousands of dollars.
You know what I'd ask for? You know what report I'd ask for? Be a cash flow report, so I could see if they can pay me.
Oh. The balance sheet should tell me that.
Well, if you look at your cash flow report will tell you if they're a viable business, because if they're negative on their operations, they're not a viable business.
Got it. Got it. Now, I'm trying to find where I stopped my sharing.
Down at the bottom should be a red.
Actually, mine's at the top. There you go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did that work? Yes.
Yep, it did.
So yeah, and you can play around with those things, but this is just something that I threw together, and it's helpful to me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I could see how it would be.
Looks great.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Well,
But that would reduce my initial client interview.
Somebody called me today. Actually, let's see, what time are we at? Well, we're really out of time, so that's enough. But somebody called me, and I said, well, I'll send you this. You send stuff back to me. And they wanted to know whether to take Square and whether to integrate it in or what. And I said, well, it really depends, on the whole system. So, and she really didn't understand her system. So this is kind of nice. And I may charge $199 or $299 for something like this, where I write up a report for them that they can use me, or they can go find somebody else and get quotes from other people as well. And this is the current state of your books at this moment in time.
Quick and easy. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. So I think we're going to end on that note for this week. We will see you all next week, same time, same place.
All right. Great.